went in to join the Army there, and they said, well, come back in a week. And so I waited out a week. I'd run out of money. I had no money, but I met two buddies who had known. They were in the Navy, and they were living in a boarding house. They said, well, come stay with us. And the woman who ran the boarding house, that was always my fate. These women all tried to mother me, and you know, and I was always running away from being mothered. But anyway, she took me to church with her on Sunday and everything else, and treated me like her son. I went back in the week, and they accepted me, and I was in the Army. And they, in the enlistment center there, where they're holding the issue uniforms and everything prior to going to boot camp, you call it, we call basic training. And they put me in charge of 83 men, 16 years old. I'm out there drilling 83 men, some of them twice and more my age. And they shipped me to boot camp, or basic training as we called it, foothills of Alberta. And within a few days there, they had me instructing on the range. And when it came time to leave there, they tried to prevail upon me to stay as a sergeant instructor. I was 16. I said, no, I want to get on with the war. So they shipped me down east for my advanced training, and while there I wrote all of the officers' entrance exams, passed all those, and then when they had the oral evaluation of me, they put me down as being immature for my age. They had me as 18, I'm 16. So, but that didn't stop them from shipping me overseas. And I went overseas on the Queen Elizabeth in 1942, largest ship afloat, me and 16,999 other servicemen. And from there, I was in a special forces unit in England, which I enjoyed very much because we never stayed in the same place twice. I got to see all of England and Scotland and whatever. We were on the move all the time. And just prior to D-Day in January 1944, they TDY'd me to an armored regiment. And I went to France, I landed in the beaches of France from an American LST. And fortunately for me, I was with that unit. Because of my former unit, after 3 weeks, there were virtually no survivors. There weren't enough left to form even any kind of an organization, and those survivors were farmed out into others, and it ceased to exist, that group did. So I was fortunate there, and I fought all through France, Belgium, Holland, Germany. I was the number 3 man in my division, called out to go to Burma. And so I was on my way home to go to Burma. And I always say to this day that I owe my life to the Americans, because while I was on my 30-day leave, they dropped the atomic bomb and the war was over. Casualty rates in Burma were 65% from malnutrition, disease, and from being shot or wounded. I left after I got out of the services. I had applied for university entrance. I had entrance to several universities, but to go to my home province or state, I had to get 1 more year. So I put in another year, and things changed. I met my first wife. We got married, and started raising children, and the education went on hold. And I'm about out of time here. Had 5 beautiful children from that marriage. John's the youngest of that group. He was my first boy. And 4 girls and 1 boy. And then subsequently, I raised another family, 4 girls and 1 boy. And so 10 in all, and spent 50 years raising children. I joined the church 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. And that was the best move I ever made in my life. As I've said before, there were 2 things in my life that were the best things I ever did. 1 was joining the church, and 2 was getting my American citizenship, which I did immediately. When I immigrated to the United States, I had been an executive for 12 years with Eaton's of Canada, youngest one they ever had, and I supervised an area about as big as the western part of the U.S. for their stores, and a lot of travel and everything involved there. But I moved to the U.S. and was in a consulting business for a number of years, and then